How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. The trade rumors, the trade talks surrounding Bengals, which will be former left tackle Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams putting in a trade request this past week after the Bengals brought in Orlando Brown Jr. Williams. Whether it be not too happy with the idea of moving to right tackle, maybe he's worried about his job security with the Bengals, maybe he feels like he's in a place here. Regardless, he wants to be traded. He has requested a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals have said they have multiple suitors inquiring about Jonah Williams at this time, which raises the question for us is, A, what's this guy's value? B, who's the suitors? The Jets, we've heard some talks, some proposed trades about the Jets being an interested party. There's been the Giants, there's some said the Buccaneers, the Titans, the Dolphins. I mean, there's been names all over the place. And I think there's multiple things you have to consider here. I think the best suitor, it's going to be a team that, because we remember Jonah Williams is 25, it's going to be a team that needs multiple pieces. Specifically multiple pieces, I think, on this offensive line, or they're missing a lot of pieces on the defensive side of the football. Because I think, if there's a team that says, oh, we're a left tackle away, or we just need one more draft, or one more lineman, and they're right tackle, lineman, whatever, and they have a modest pick in the draft, they're going to say there's some solid tackles out there that we might trust and believe in. We don't have to trade for a guy like Jonah Williams. But if there's teams like, let's say the Titans, who have some issues across the offensive line, or they say we could shuffle some pieces around, figure something out, Jonah Williams could be a starting piece. And, again, a team like we say the Titans, where you could say like they're kind of, are they restarting-ish? A little bit. In a quarterback perspective of things, where it's like Jonah Williams can figure it out. He can be a cornerstone for years to come. Maybe he struggles a little bit this year, but he gets better. He can be a cornerstone for a decade. Meanwhile, you look at a team like the Jets, and I say, I don't know how interested they really are, because if it's Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback, he's kind of old. He's a little bit anxious. He's a little bit up there. Still a stud. But you best believe the Jets are going to do their absolute best to keep this guy clean and keep his pocket clean. And when you see Jonah Williams give up 12 sacks last season, obviously you're trading for this guy and saying he's proven he can be a left tackle in this football league. But also at the back of your mind, you're like, what if it takes a little bit for this guy to figure it out? You don't want to get a guy like Aaron Rodgers killed on what could be, his last year in the league if you're in this win now phase like the Jets are. But then again, Jonah Williams is kind of a guaranteed. You know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get out of a left tackle draftee. Maybe he doesn't turn out. Maybe he needs that year to grow, and you want to win right now. That's the predicament teams are finding themselves in right now. They're going back and forth on what Jonah Williams has shown in the past, what he could do in the future, compared to what is the risk reward of a draft pick, and or the risk reward, how much it costs to get another lineman, how much you could possibly lock down a guy like Jonah Williams for right now at his age and the way he's played in the past. And I think we've heard a lot of talk about Jonah Williams being a third-round pick, kind of draft pick in return. I think that's really reasonable. I think you say a third-round pick's reasonable. You never know with the trade market. We've seen guys go for seconds. We've seen them go for first. It's what do you believe? What kind of talent do you guys believe this guy is? Because I think he is considered by teams a proven player, but at the same time a potential risk and project. Especially if he only wants to play left tackle, you say, again, let's talk third-round pick. I think because there's a lot of teams in it, if teams get desperate, I think you may possibly see a bunch of trade talks now, and maybe you wait till the draft where teams start to figure things out, and it's like, let's make that move now. We want the player now. Bengals want that capital now. That's when things move. But if there's teams fighting and clawing and there ain't a lot out there, I mean, you could say, hey, possibly Bengals get a second, and maybe they turn back a fourth to the other team, or a fifth, or a fourth and a fifth. And I think that's best case scenario. If I'm the Bengals, I'm talking to those other teams. I don't want to scare them out the door. And you could scare them out the door if they say, what do you want for Jonah Williams? We say, oh, give us your second. They might walk right out the door. It's like, no. What if we started with a second, but we're willing to give you something in return? Oh, what if we gave you a fourth? Where would you draw the line at if you're the Bengals to say, hey, we'll give you Jonah Williams, a third-round pick for your second? Because I think the Bengals are in an interesting spot this year where, yeah, the third round, there's still talent, but you have to remember the Bengals late in the third round, because this AFC title game they picked the 29th spot every single round after the first round. Could see a lot of guys fall off the board. Meanwhile, you take a team's second round pick, and all of a sudden you say, we could get DeJuan Jones, we could get Darnell Washington, we could take a different route, maybe get Cansey and take Washington to go for another lineman in the second round. Laporta is always available in the third. Then still you can attack multiple positions and feel that safety net because they have that second round pick in there. But if that doesn't happen, the Bengals still have the first, the second. I think what's most likely a couple of thirds. But I think that's the big thing with Jonah Williams here. Is there a way they can get? That's the way I'm looking at Jonah Williams. Is there a way they can turn this third into another potential higher spot up in the draft? But I think that's the asking price. Would I be surprised if he got less? No, not really. I go ahead and get a fourth. He's on. Good. Remember, this is a rental. He did just tie the league, have the league, tie for the league's best in sacks allowed at 12. That's not a category you want to be first in. I think the teams have a lot of leverage here. They know he wants to be traded. The Bengals can get rid of him. The Bengals don't really have a thing to do here unless they force him to play right tackle, which could work. But it could be worse. It could be a fourth. It could be a fifth. We'll see what happens. I think if there's teams interested now, though, you don't wait. If you're the Bengals, you pounce on it now and try to get the best available offer. You don't wait till the draft where teams could start seeing guys fall to them and be like, okay, we don't need Jonah Williams as much as we thought. We did. This guy slipped. This guy fell. So I think you got to pounce now. The Bengals are going to get the best value in this next week or two. We'll see, though. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.